أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصراطه. So this is, as Sister said, is a continuation of what we were discussing last week, and these are the final points from Agha Jawadi's writing on this line. So we said last week that Sirat, we gave the definition, we said where it came from. Basically here what we're saying is to the Aimma alayhim salam, peace be upon the path of Allah or the straight path of Allah. So now we want to go into a bit more further analysis. The first thing which Agha Jawadi says is that the Sirat-e-Mustaqim, the true path or the straight path, can never ever be corrupted. We should never ever think that somehow someone can come and corrupt Islam or corrupt our religion, corrupt the Qur'an. No, never. Yes, it is possible that at times shaitan may affect us or block us or try to take us on a different path. But he never has access to the path itself. The path itself is protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same way that he never has access to the infallibles, the ma'sumin. Shaitan may be able to tempt and whisper many people, but never ever the infallibles. He can never ever access them or do them any harm or damage. For example, in the Quran, Allah says, قَالَ, quoting Shaitan, قَالَ رَبِّ بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأُزَيِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Shaitan said, my Lord, as you have consigned me to perversity, as you have misguided me, I will surely glamorize evil for them on the earth, and I will surely pervert them and divert them, except who? عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Except your dedicated servants from among them. I have no access to them. I will never be able to access them. So, of course, dedicated servants, top of the list is Aimma alayhim salam. So Shaitan never has access to either the religion of Allah in terms of he can never distort it, and he definitely doesn't have access to any of the Aimma alayhim salam or Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. All he can do is work on individuals. He can affect us, block us, try to take us on a different path. The second question which Agha addresses, he says, okay, we've said that Sirat-e-Mustaqim can only ever be one. However, Quran mentions something called subul. Subul is the plural of sabil. Sabil means way, or you can say smaller path, side road, avenue, for example. So Allah mentions subul, so if we, which is plural. So if we say Sirat-e-Mustaqim is only one and can ever only be one, then what are these subul? For example, Allah saying, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in our way, we will guide them to our ways or avenues. So this is plural. يَهْدِي بِهِ اللَّهُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ رِضْوَانَهُ سُبُلَ السَّلَامِ. Allah will guide one who follows his pleasure and pleasing him to the paths of safety, to the avenues of safety. So these are plurals. So if Sirat-e-Mustaqim is one, then what are all these plural subul or paths? So Agha says basically that these are what we may call side roads, avenues, slip roads, if you like, in today's language. So these are the things that help you along the way, and they lead you onto Sirat-e-Mustaqim. They keep you on Sirat-e-Mustaqim. They lead towards Sirat-e-Mustaqim. Like what? Well, all of the individual things we do. So for example, namaz will become a subul. Namaz helps us to get on and remain on Sirat-e-Mustaqim. Correct beliefs. These are also part of the subul. These are one of the avenues into Sirat-e-Mustaqim. Ethics, akhlaq, fiqh and adherence to laws, all of these are individual subul. You give charity, inshallah, that's one of the subul. You, for example, go for Hajj, that's one of the subul. So Hajj is not our religion. Hajj is part of the religion. That can be one of the subul. It is a sabil towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and gets you onto Sirat-e-Mustaqim. So these, there's two ways of looking at it. Either we can say that these lead you onto the straight path, so they're smaller roads which join onto the larger road, which is Sirat-e-Mustaqim, or Maybe we can say like this, that the Sirat-e-Mustaqim is this huge thing which incorporates and includes all these smaller avenues and side roads, and all of them together become Sirat-e-Mustaqim. Third point which he makes, that actually we hear of two paths in the Holy Quran. Allah mentions two paths. He mentions Sirat-e-Mustaqim, which we are saying is religion and the way to get to Him, and it's the straight path, and it's only one. But what about in the hereafter? Well, there is also a mention of Sirat in the hereafter. So what is this Sirat, and does it have any correspondence to the worldly Sirat? So here, basically, what we are saying is that the Sirat which you choose in this world, the path you choose in this world, if it's Sirat-e-Mustaqim, then in the hereafter you will also be given a very easy path towards heaven. That will also be very straight, straightforward, quick, simple. Sirat-e-Mustaqim will manifest from this world into the hereafter. In the hereafter as well, you will have Sirat-e-Mustaqim towards heaven. However, it could be that you choose the other Sirat, which is not Sirat-e-Mustaqim. It is the wrong Sirat. It is the Sirat of Shaitan, the Sirat of the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In that case, your Sirat in the hereafter will not be the Sirat towards heaven. It will be the Sirat towards hell. And then we have this hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, who was asked that, what is this Sirat-e-Mustaqim? Can you explain it for me? Imam replied, Huwa tariqu ila ma'rifatillah. Sirat-e-Mustaqim is basically the path, the road, the straight path, which takes you towards knowing ma'rifat of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَهُمَا siratan. But here Imam says there are two paths. Siratun fid dunya wa siratun fil akhirah. One of the paths relates to this world, and that same path will manifest and relate to the one in the hereafter. فَأَمَّا السِّرَاطُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. As for the worldly path, the one you have to follow in this world, what is that? فَهُوَ الْإِمَامُ الْمُفْتَرَضُ الطَّاعَةِ. That path is no one other than the Imam whose obedience is wajib upon you. In other words, the Sirat of Sirat-e-Mustaqim is Aimma alayhimus salam. We said last week that Amirul Mu'mineen is the Sirat-e-Mustaqim, as told to us in many hadiths. So he says, فَهُوَ الْإِمَامُ الْمُفْتَرَضْ الطَّاعَةِ مَنْ عَرَفَهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَاقْتَدَى بِهُدَاهُ. Whoever recognizes his Imam in this world and remains steadfast and sticks to his guidance, مَرَّ عَلَى الصِّرَاطِ الَّذِي هُوَ جِسْرُ جَهَنَّمْ. He will then very easily pass. He will then very easily pass across the pathway, the Sirat, which is suspended over the hellfire, which we sometimes call Pule Sirat, the Sirat of the hereafter. Fil akhirah, in the hereafter. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرِفْهُ. However, if someone fails to recognize his Imam, fails to bond with his Imam, stick to his Imam, follow the guidance of his Imam, then what? وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرِفْهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. If in the world you don't follow your Imam, زَلَّتْ قَدَمُهُ. His feet will slip عَنِ السِّرَاطِ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. On the path which is the Sirat of the hereafter, because it will manifest. Whatever you do here, if you didn't follow your Imam here, you will slip there. And then what? فَتَرَدَّى فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمْ. And then you will fall into the fire of hell. So Imam Sadiq al-Islam makes it very clear that the Sirat-e-Mustaqim is nothing more than following Aimma alayhimus salam, following Amirul Mu'mineen, following Imam Sadiq, following Imam Sahibul Zaman. This is the true Sirat, and that will manifest in the hereafter with a very straightforward, simple, easy path, inshallah, towards heaven. If you mess up here, you don't give your Imam respect, you don't follow him, you don't stick to him, you don't follow his teachings, he's trying to guide you, you don't follow his guidings, in that case, you're lost here, you'll be lost also in the hereafter. It will manifest. That is the third point. Fourth and final point. Sometimes this Sirat in the Holy Quran is attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, هَذَا صِرَاطُ رَبِّكَ مُسْتَقِيمًا, or هَذَا صِرَاطِ مُسْتَقِيم. Allah says, this is my path. But sometimes, very interestingly, it is attributed to people, the righteous, who traverse it. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim, the path of those whom you have blessed. We say this every day in Surah Al-Fatiha. Agha says there are different reasons behind this. The attribution of the Sirat to Allah is because He has given us every good thing. The whole religion is His gift to us. So then what is the reason behind attributing it to the righteous? Because they become the Sirat. Those who follow the Sirat means they are following Allah's true beliefs, system, akhlaq, laws, all of that, His religion. They become so much attached and submissive and dedicated to the path of Allah that it's as if they become the path themselves. Therefore, they are also attributed with this path. And those who are sinless and totally dedicated to Allah, like Aim alayhi salam, they become the Sirat totally because they have totally devoted themselves to it. They've totally submitted to it. How about those who are sinful, but they're still good, but they commit sins or they commit mistakes? Yeah, okay, we can say they become the Sirat, but not in totality. For that total, unrestricted, undoubtable manifestation of the Sirat, it is only the Infallibles, top of the list, Aimma alayhim salam. Those who are other mu'mineen, muttaqeen, good people, righteous people, people who maybe they're not infallible, but they are good people, they are people of God, yes, they will become the Sirat at different levels and different degrees. Hence, we'll go back to our central point, where we have the hadith which we quoted last week. Aliyun huwa siratul mustaqim. Ali, only he is the true straight path. As-siratul mustaqim, amirul mu'mineen, in another hadith. That the sirat-e-Mustaqim, the true path, the straight path, is nothing more than and none other than amirul mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. And mashallah, we are celebrating his birth tomorrow night. And so I'll just finish off by wishing everyone Asadallahu ayyamakum. May Allah give you the best of days and nights. May He make you happy in these days of Amirul Mu'mineen and the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen. I think we'll stop there. So now we've come to the end of Wasiratihi. And the next section, inshallah, which we'll do either next week or we'll do as a recorded session, will be Wanurihi, and the Nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are the Ahlul Bayt protected from the shaitan because of their deeds? Or are they protected because of the favor, i.e. isma by Allah? So that is very simple. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Aimma alayhimus salam, those who are infallible, this is a gift from Allah. And then their gift is based on what? It is based on them deserving it. In other words, they are of a higher level, better quality of person, better quality of servanthood of God. Therefore, they deserve it. It's not just randomly selected that, okay, I feel like giving Isma to these 14 people. No, they deserve it. If you want to know more, it's a very deep discussion, but if you want to know more, just look at Dua Nudba. It says there in the beginning, in the first few lines, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested His servants. He saw how loyal they were, and therefore He selected them. So that is the answer to that. Now, the second part of the question is, Salihin would be doers of good. Yes, Salihin are those who are the doers of good, the righteous, for example. Those who do good, yes. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who are performing good deeds, righteous deeds. Okay, I think we can conclude. So that was our discussion on this line of Jamia, which was Siratihi. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.